Hi, this is Cheryl with Hirsch Parent Coaching. This is part 2 to last week's video. I decided to break up this information into 2 parts so it wouldn't get too long. I've been talking about the podcast with Armchair Expert with Susan David. She is the author of Emotional Fragility. So my tip for today is don't race for the emotional exits. And that is not my term, that is Susan David's, but how great is that? So a lot of us try to placate our children and others when they are having a hard time. And she called that the tyranny of positivity. And I am so guilty of that. Oh, it's going to be all right. Things will get better, da, 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 da. And we go on and on and on when things may not be okay. So she calls that, again, the tyranny of positivity. I've got to remember that term. So when our kids are going through a hard time, we need to validate their feelings. And I believe I have talked about this before, but it's just such good information, it's worth repeating. So for example, I know when my kids were growing up, one of them didn't get invited to a party. So instead of saying, which I know so many parents did because there was another one involved in the incident, I'm going to call that mother and I'm going to get my child invited. Instead, we need to validate their feelings and say, I've just got this all written down here, I see that you are in pain and that is really hurtful. So this helps them get comfortable with the discomfort of feeling emotions. 2, they also learn that emotions are transient. They are going to pass. That is also a gift for us to know that yes, our child is upset. We are there to validate and to support, but not to take away, and just let them be. And we know these emotions will pass. The third one is it's really important to label the emotion. I have been hearing this with different trainings that I've taken with trauma and other things, how important it is to label them. So oftentimes we say we're stressed or we're overwhelmed, but those are really big umbrella emotions. So for a child who didn't get invited to a party, they are feeling disappointment, and they could also be feeling angry, hurt, rejected is a more specific. So yes, they're feeling angry and hurt, but if we dig deeper, they're feeling rejected and disappointed. And so that's what we want to get down to, the more granular emotion instead of just being angry. So when we help them with this, there is just, she said, like 50 years of research out there that helps that we, don't run for the emotional exits, and that we're with our children and walk through these steps, that their overall emotional well-being is better, that they are helping them with motivation, and to motivate more effectively, and finally, that it teaches them delayed gratification. So let me just say those one more time, that it helps them with their overall well-being, it helps motivate more effectively, and it helps them to learn how to deal with delayed gratification, which is a really important thing. And then as I talked about in my last video about values, these are our guideposts. And when we go through these emotional difficulties, but we're in them, then it ties us back to what are our values that are so important. So through this hurt of not getting invited to a birthday party, she realizes, or he realizes, I think, whoever it may be, that friendship is an important value and community is an important value. And so it circles us back to what's most important. So again, something to think about. And even though it may be really hard for us as parents to remember how we're really benefiting our children, maybe it'll make it just a little bit easier. Again, I would love to hear from you. And please write any comments, suggestions below, and just let me know what you thought of the video. Thanks so much. And again, have a wonderful, wonderful week.